Hi, Nuthara. Nuthara, sorry.
You're fine.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Today we have her with us because she is currently the president of the Undergraduate Research Society, and we received a lot of questions about, how to get research and, what research opportunities there are. And as someone who's been through the undergraduate research process with Dr. Lampkin, I just thought that we could use you. This is a very helpful source into helping undergraduate students get into research. So,
Yeah.
if you start off with the first question, if you wouldn't mind telling us what lab did you work in and what was a typical day like? How did you manage that with taking your science classes, all of that?
Okay, so currently I will be starting a new lab in the fall with Chelsea Hintz. She does urban stream ecology, but previously I was working in a microbiology lab with Dr. Sarah Pixley. Um, my I tried to balance it just, it was hard because as a fresh new student, it's a lot of stuff to balance just with your gen eds and all that, so it did take a little bit of adjustment, but a typical day I had to take pictures of microscope slides, did a lot of cleaning in the lab. There was also times where there was we had lab meetings and yes, just typical stuff like that. Had to pipette, and it was a while ago, so I don't really remember too much of what I did on a day to day, but yeah, it's pretty much.
Okay, sounds good. Could you talk to us about the Undergraduate Research Society and how you became president?
Yeah, so Undergraduate Research Society, it's kind of a community of undergraduate students that are all interested in doing research or have done research in the past. And our goal is kind of to help students interested in research get involved and kind of get their foot in the door. And also to help students feel like supported in their research journey, and kind of just like a club where undergraduate students involved in research can come and like talk about their research and stuff like that. How I became president, I started going to the club. Actually, I was not involved in any research when I started going. I had done my research previously and then joined the club. And so I just started out going to meetings. I became really good friends with the president and the leadership board, and I was involved like with events and stuff. And then was um, I was given the opportunity to do the research with Chelsea Hintz. So then I was going to do that in the fall. But with COVID and stuff, it was a little hard for that to do that in the spring. So I had to push it back.
And you mentioned that you previously worked in a microbial lab. So I was kind of wondering if you felt you would consider underrepresented in that lab and how that affected your experience while working there.
Oh yeah. I would consider myself underrepresented in the lab, just being like a minority, being a minority woman. There were other minorities in the lab working with me, but I honestly didn't feel like it affected me negatively. I feel like it actually helped me make a bunch of new friends that I wouldn't have previously been exposed to those individuals. It benefited me in a way, like I felt like I was more included in that group.
Okay. And with this group of people that you met, can you talk about what it's like working as a team and not even with just those people, but with your PI or private and guest investigator and the skills you needed for that?
Yeah, so I would say the skills that I needed, well, you would need lab skills, of course. They do like help you out with that, and with like pipetting and how to take pictures in the microscope and stuff like that. But other than that, I'd say with my PI, I was very shy when I was in that lab. I was kind of getting into my shell or whatever. So it was a little harder for me to have those communication skills, which I think now I've developed those and, but definitely communication skills, teamwork skills, when you're having like team meetings, listening skills, stuff like that are also I think, just as important as the techniques you learn in the lab itself, doing the research.
And with what you did, how much of a emphasis on teamwork was there? Like, was it like you just did your own stuff and then you passed it on along to someone else? Or did you work with other people? Like, how often did you talk to your PI? All those kind of things.
So I would talk to my PI every time we had a meeting, a lab meeting. But for me, since was just starting out, it was a lot of teamwork just because I was like new to the lab and stuff. And honestly, I didn't really want to keep going down that lab pathway, which is why I switched to the stream ecology lab, which is what I'm going to be doing in the fall. But for this lab, I think I'm going to be taking on an individual project, so it's going to be a little different. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. And if you had one piece of advice to give to an undergraduate student seeking any research opportunities, what would that be?
So my one piece of advice would be try to look out of your comfort zone or think out of the box and look for opportunities that you might not otherwise consider. Like I personally was like, I'm going to stick with microbiome, I'm going to stick with cell bio, microscope, stuff like that. And then I realized that I wanted to branch out, and now I'm going to be doing like field research with like streams and like kind of the other side of bio, like ecology side. So my piece of advice is to just keep all your doors open and don't like restrict yourself to one kind of research because there's a lot out there.
Okay, good answer. I like that answer. Dr. Seltzer, do you have any questions or anything you want to add?
Yeah, I love that last answer too. It's really great advice, I think. I know a lot of students ask the question about whether your research is paid or unpaid because you're giving a lot of time to that,
Yeah.
and also whether you got credit for it.
So in the past, my research was all volunteering and it was unpaid, but I do know people that have worked in the labs and gotten paid. It's just if you're getting credit or which I'm going to be doing in the fall, I'm going to be doing research as a course credit, you don't get paid. But if you're not doing it as a credit, you do have the opportunity to get paid. So it's like one or the other.
Yeah, that's great. And I do encourage like all students to be able to work with their academic advisor or their faculty advisor in their department, because a lot of times there are ways that we may know how you can find funding for that or how you can earn credit for that, so that you're getting something for it since you're spending so much of your time there.
Yeah. And when I was just starting out, I didn't really have any idea. I wasn't part of the Undergraduate Research Society, so I didn't know that I could potentially get paid or potentially get credit. Yeah. But it's great to have the resources now. And that's why like the club is there. We're trying to promote, undergrad students that have no idea the world of research, or especially freshman students that are incoming that really have no idea where to start or who to email or how to get their foot in the door.
The other thing that was canceled in the spring is that undergraduate scholarly showcase. I think it's something different now. Do you want to say something about that? Because I know that's a good way for students to just come through and learn about research.
Yeah, so the undergraduate scholarly showcase is kind of a showcase for all the students that are involved in research for the year to come together and present to other students their research. And I think there's awards. I'm not sure exactly what awards there were gonna be, but yeah, there was gonna be something, but unfortunately, yeah, it got canceled. The Undergraduate Research Society, we go every year, and well, we were supposed to go last year, and we take down the presentation boards and we like put them up, and that's kind of our role in the club. We're kind of like the behind the scenes people, but some of our members do actually present, and I'm hoping to present in the spring with my individual project.
Great. Yeah. And you could just come through as a student and listen to other people, present their research as a way to be like, oh, maybe one day I could see myself doing that.
Yeah, exactly. Like get everybody involved or just educate everybody to see if, because you don't know, like it might interest you to be involved in some research that you'd never heard of before. So
that's it for me, Josh. I don't know if you have any further questions.
Yeah, I have one last question. So I know that pre-COVID, that the Undergraduate Research Society, they would have the presentations that would get students started into research, and they would have to watch the videos and they would learn about research. They had those meetings twice a week. So I was just kind of wondering, so for students who are interested in this, how could they find research, or where could they reach out to? Is it all online, or what's going on with that?
yeah, so it is online. We do have a website. I think it is Undergraduate Research Society. If you look on like UC's, we do have a page. But those meetings, I think you're talking about Ready for Research, right? With Dr. Lampkin.
That's what I'm
Those
talking about.
Yeah, yeah. So those you go and then she helps you like format like emails, and you get like those little note cards with the people with different research or whatever, and you can like reach out to them. So that's a great way, I would say, for undergraduate student to get started, is to go to one of those meetings, and then after that she kind of hands the student over to like our organization.
Nuthara, I think we lost you. Nuthara, we lost you there. Can you hear us? Can you hear us, Nuthara? We lost you. Josh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Did you lose Nuthara too?
Yeah, I thought it was on my end.
Okay. We probably should just wrap up then.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we missed that, but we can post the Ready for Research information or share that with this link.
Okay, yeah. So I guess when you rewatch this, Nuthara, thank you for your time. We really appreciate you coming and talking to us and helping students out. And for the students watching, that we'll give, if anyone else has any more questions about, Ready for Research and undergraduate research society, we'll put links in so that everyone can, come in, or if they want to ask her any questions or anything.
Hello?
Okay.
Oh, can you guys hear me?